Hi guys, back again. Welcome to Gritties. We did talk and touch on the fact that I had thought the damage to this engine, right? Yeah, I'm going to pull the piston out. So I'm going to pull number 1 and 2 out. Now, I did have a thought that I might have damaged the bearing. So, from using the Ugga using the 3/4 gun on it. So what I've done is I pulled 1 out and I'll pull 2 out too. Now, if that was damaged from detonation, like not detonation, but well, it's really good. But from the rattle gun, that wouldn't be tied in there. That would actually be crushed, and that would pop out. Now let's have a look. What have we got here? Oh, it's beautiful. There's no damage at all. Tiny, tiny little bit there. Can you see that? It's a tiny, tiny little bit. I'll see if I can push it in further. No, it was just oil. Look how beautiful that is. So far, so good. Hold on, I'll do number 2. Number 1's out. Nice. Very small burn. Hold on. Rightio, let's get number 2 off. Now, we've got to remember that this also had a piston failure, which stopped on the cylinder head, but on idle. So the rod will need to be checked. Make sure there's no deformation on the beam. So what I do, due to the fact that it's already, we're a little hair going, so we will separate and then check this one for damage. Right, she's come off there. So let's see. No bearing damage. That's probably from me trying to separate it with the wooden handle. Let's see. No, that's nice and tight in there still. So that's good. Now, where's our torch? You know what, guys? Actually doesn't look like any real damage. It's not even real bearing damage, it just stopped. Look at this crank. This is why I lost my shit when the snout was out. I have straightened this crank, it's perfect. There's nothing wrong with it now. The block is so good. I would probably go through and polish it again if I was going to reuse this and put a piston in. We'll see. Hold on, let's get this piston out so you can see the damage. Okay, here we are. Right, so that bearing is actually still tight in there. So that's really good. Now, the piston's damaged. You couldn't reuse it. It didn't go through the crown, so I'm kind of happy with that. So one set of rings did clamp up that top ring. Look at that. This one's perfect. Beautiful piston, the Ross piston. Took a bit of a beating. Nice light pin. So what I'm going to have to do now is send a good sample and the part number and tell them that we modified the crown. Not this one. That's there. And right, no deformation on the beam. I'll get onto it with some verniers and I'll measure it and make sure that it hasn't opened up, because that's what I'd be worried about. If it's closed up on one side and opened up on the other, I would say it's bent. Looks pretty good. Yeah, these are from RHD. These are max speedings that he had made in 138mm long. Pity all the shit went down with me and him the way it did. I thought I had some good info for him and I thought I did some good R&D for him. But oh well. People have their own issues, whatever. Not my problem. We'll see. If that little belting on the cylinder head hurt it, then I definitely wouldn't use them again. But What a sad end to this absolute gorgeous engine. Hopefully I can repair it. I have a plan. I'm not planning to just throw it all away. I do have a plan. I've got a really good plan. I've got ADD, so it's not an excuse for the things I do, but it's an explanation for things that I've done. The way that I am with some stuff. I have some really good plans, but I can't talk about them because if I talk about them, it gets them out there. Then if I don't make them happen, then I just look like a dunce. So I'm going to put some stuff into action. And when it's done, I'm going to pull some really cool shit out. And we'll go from there. As for car builds, next one will be we'll sell a few more things, pay for the machining on the 347 stroker, the alley-headed one. Oh, there's some stuff that you guys haven't seen yet. I've been collecting parts, so we have another really cool engine build, and that'll be coming up shortly. I don't think I'm going to go to town on the crank. It's a cast crank, cast rods, Wiseco 4Gs. It's just going to be a 440, 450 horsepower streeter. Just a nice, fun 63 XL Falcon. So anyone that's been watching, you would have seen the earlier vids. But yeah, so I'm happy with that. Doesn't look like we've damaged any bearings. Looks like we could probably use all them bearings again. That would be nice because that crank's ground 1020. That crank had something fall off in the ISO polish tank and it torched the journal, so it had to be reground. The stuff on this engine was just stress. It was just ridiculous. But yeah, I've proven that you don't need the secondary oil pump relief in the block. The one on the oil pump itself works. The one in the block, we blocked up with a big bolt. I tried to get some bungs. I couldn't get bungs that size at the time. But I shimmed the oil pump relief. It doesn't need to be shimmed. It'll go over 100 psi if you shim it. Under 100 if you don't shim it, it'll sit around 80, 85, which is fine. But this engine ran 100 psi on cold start. So it could have actually run some, with the clearances it had, it could have run some a little bit thinner oil. So it could have gone from 1550 down to a 1040. But I liked the idea of the 1550. Good oil squish, good oil, what's the word for it? It's the old age stuff. Oil squish, I suppose. But yeah. Well, you have a lovely night, and always good to show you some nice content. And yeah, that's not nice. But you know what? For a blow up on a $25,000, we're going to call it a 2 horsepower per cubic inch, because she would have made 350, not a problem. Would have made 300, 310 at the tyre, no issue. She was a toughie. Sorry for the swearing, guys. I'm trying not to swear so much just because some of my watchers aren't into that stuff, so I try to keep the language to a minimum. Just devastated we didn't get on the dyno for some proof. Oh, lots of good engine builds coming up anyway, guys. You have a lovely night. Monday night, public holiday. Yeah, back to work tomorrow. Thanks.